So in this video, we are going to learn how to get response in JSON format from Google Gemini in Pabbly Connect. So if you are also using Google Gemini as an application in your AI agent or in AI automation which you are building inside Pabbly Connect, this video is going to help you to get the JSON body as a response from Gemini. So we are just taking a simple example where we are adding some topics in our Google spreadsheet. And after adding the topics, for the same topic, we are going to generate the blog content, the title, the keyword, and the slug for it. And we are going to get all of these responses in JSON format from Google Gemini. After getting all of these details, at last, we are going to update the same details back in our Google spreadsheet as well. Now, if you want to learn how you can get this response in JSON format in Google Gemini, for that, let me just take you to my screen.
So as you can see, this is my Google spreadsheet in which I'm adding the topic and the target audience for my blog content. And in this video, we are going to see how you can send this data to Pabbly Connect, and using Pabbly Connect, we will send the same data to Google Gemini. And using Google Gemini, we are going to generate the title, content, slug, and the keyword for this blog which we are going to enter. So we have entered the topic and the target audience over here, and we are going to enter or generate these details using Google Gemini. So we are going to generate the title of the blog, the actual blog content, the slug, and the keyword of the blog. And we are going to do this, we are going to build this AI agent and automate this process using Pabbly Connect. Also, the major thing which we are going to learn is how you can get the JSON response, that in using one single action of Google Gemini, how you can get separate response for all of these details. We are going to see that too. So let's get started. First, let's just go to a browser and access Pabbly Connect. For that, we just have to enter pabbly.com/connect in our browser. Now, as we come to Pabbly Connect's landing page, here you can see we have two options, sign in and sign up free. Now, if you're new to Pabbly, just click on this sign up free button and you can set up your free Pabbly Connect account in just 2 minutes. Or if you're an existing Pabbly user, just click on this sign in button. As we click on sign in, we will reach to this all apps page of Pabbly. And here we just have to click on access now below Pabbly Connect. And as we click on access now, we will reach to Pabbly Connect's dashboard. After coming to this dashboard, we have to create an automation workflow over here. For that, just click on this create workflow button and give this workflow a name. Let's say I'll name my workflow as JSON response from Gemini. So in this video, we are going to have a major focus on how you can get JSON response from Google Gemini. Then just select the folder of your Pabbly account in which you want to set up this workflow and click on create. And as you click on create, here you can see the workflow will open in front of us. In this workflow, we have two different windows. First one is the trigger window and second one is the action window. So triggers and actions are basically those two concepts, those two principles on which this whole automation works on, where the trigger says when this happens and the action says do this. So let's start with the trigger step. Now the idea here is, first we have to basically get the topic and the target audience which we are entering in our Google spreadsheet inside Pabbly Connect. So that whenever we are going to enter these details and select the status as generate, automatically the same details will be received inside Pabbly Connect and this automation workflow will trigger. Then after that, using this Pabbly Connect automation, using this AI agent, we are going to send the same details to Google Gemini, and using Google Gemini, we are going to generate the content for our blog, like title, content, slug, and keyword. And we are going to get all of these details into a JSON format. So we are going to see how you can get a JSON response from Google Gemini with all of these details. Then after that, after getting these details, at last, we are going to update all of these details back in our Google spreadsheet. So let's see how it is done. Here in trigger step, in choose app, search for Google Sheets. Just select it. After selecting Google Sheets, in trigger event from the drop down, select the trigger event as new or updated spreadsheet row. After selecting this trigger event, Pabbly Connect gave us a webhook URL. Now we have to add this webhook URL in our Google spreadsheet. And to add the webhook URL, just follow the instructions given below over here. Just copy the webhook URL from here and go to your Google spreadsheet. After coming to the Google Sheet, just go to Extensions, Add-ons and click on Get Add-ons. And as you click on Get Add-ons, we will reach to Google Workspace Marketplace. Here in Search app, we have to search for Pabbly Connect Webhooks. And as you can see, Pabbly Connect Webhooks, this add-on is already installed in our Google Sheets. You just have to install this same add-on into your own Google Sheets account, and after installing it, just refresh your Google Sheets once. This is an important step. After refreshing our Google spreadsheet, what we have to do, Once again, we'll go to extensions and you can see Pabbly Connect webhooks. This add-on is now added. Just hover on it and click on Initial Setup. And as you click on Initial Setup, this dialog box will appear in front of us. And it is basically asking us three different things. First one is selected sheet, the second one is webhook URL, and third one is trigger column. Now here in selected sheet, because we have only one sheet in this Google spreadsheet named as sheet 1, by default it has selected sheet 1. Then here in the field of webhook URL, as you can guess, we have to enter the exact same webhook URL which Pabbly Connect gave us. Just copy it from here and paste it over here. After placing this webhook URL, it is asking us for the trigger column. Now you must be thinking, what is this trigger column? So trigger column is basically the last column of our Google spreadsheet in which we will be entering any data. So in the background, you can see in this Google spreadsheet, column C is going to be my trigger column because it is the last column in which I will be entering any data. After column C, in rest of the column, we are going to update the data using this AI agent. So here I'm going to select the trigger column as column C and then just click on this send test button. Now as we click on send test, it is showing us the test data is sent successfully. This means the data of the very first row after headers, the data of row number 2 is now sent to this webhook URL to Pabbly Connect. And here in our Pabbly Connect workflow as well, in the trigger step, you can see we have received the response. And in this response, you can see we have received the same topic which we have added in row number 2 over here. And also we have received the same response of target audience and status. So the data of all the three columns till our trigger column are received over here. Also, you will notice that we have received the response of row index, that the data of which particular row of our Google Sheet we have received. So in this way, you can see that the first step is completed. Now we'll go back to Google Sheets, click on the submit button, and as we click on submit, it is showing us that the setup is configured successfully. Now close this dialog box. Once again, we'll go to extensions, Pabbly Connect webhooks, and select this option of send on event. By selecting send on event, we are telling this Google Sheet, we are telling this add-on that whenever a new row of data is added till our trigger column, then immediately, instantly send that new data to Pabbly Connect, to this webhook URL. Now, after getting this, what we want to do, we want to basically ensure that if the status of this topic is generate, only in that case, we want to basically generate the content using Google Gemini. So what we are going to do, here in status, we had two options, generate and draft. So we are going to set up a filter condition in our automation workflow in this AI agent that if we get the response of status as generate, only then this data will be sent to Google Gemini, and using Google Gemini, we can generate the content. So for that, we will just scroll down, come to this action step, and here in choose app, select filter over here. After selecting filter, in action event from the drop down, select the action event as filter values, then just click on connect. After clicking on connect, the first thing it asks us is to select the label. So here in select label from this drop down, we have to select the label of status because we want to set up the filter condition on the response of status. Then the filter type will be equals to and the value will be generate over here. So we have created this filter condition that if we get the response of status as generate, only in that case this automation workflow will be continued further and we are going to create the response. We are going to send the data to Gemini and generate the block content. Now just click on this save and send test request button, and as you click on save and send test request, here you can see that we have received the response. And this response shows that the condition is true because we have selected the status as generate over here. Then after that, what we want to do, after ensuring that the status is generate, we want to send this data, the topic and the target audience with our prompt to Google Gemini. And using Google Gemini, we are going to basically generate the content in JSON response. We are going to get the response of block content like the title, content, keyword and slug as a JSON object. For that, just click on this add action step button over here. And then here in choose app, search for Google AI Studio. Just select Google AI Studio over here. After selecting this, an action event from the drop down, select the action event as generate content and click on connect. After clicking on connect, just select add new connection. And now here, we have to connect our Google AI Studio account, our Gemini account via Google AI Studio with Pabbly Connect. And to make this connection, we have to enter the API key of our Google AI Studio account. Now to get the API key from this help text, click on this Google AI Studio button over here and it will take you to your Google AI Studio account. After coming to your account like this is the account which I have already logged in. We just have to click on this Get API Key button, and as you click on Get API Key, click on this Create API Key. After clicking on Create API Key, it will ask us to select our Google Cloud project for which we are going to generate the API key. So I will be selecting my first project or project over here and click on this Create API Key button. After clicking on Create API Key button, it will generate an API key. Just copy the API key from here, go to Pabbly Connect and paste it over here. And after pasting the API key from our Google AI Studio, just click on Save. And as you click on Save, we will see our Google AI Studio account will get connected with Pabbly Connect. After making the connection, it is asking us for the text. And here in text, we have to actually enter the prompt, that what is the prompt we want to give to Google Gemini to generate the blog content. And in the prompt itself, we are going to mention that we want a JSON response, and also we are going to enter the example JSON body or the JSON object, that what should be the structure of the response we are asking for. So let me just enter the prompt over here. Okay, so this is the prompt which I want to give to Google Gemini. The prompt says create a blog post on the topic of, and here we have to enter the topic on which we want Google Gemini to write the blog. So we have entered the topic of our blog in our Google spreadsheet, and we have received the Google Sheet responses inside Pabbly Connect in the trigger step. So here from the trigger step, we have to basically add the response of the topic of the blog and the target audience. We have to add both of these responses to this Google Gemini action step. So we'll just click on this field over here of text, and where we want to add the topic, we will just click here, and here in this drop down, you can see a list of all the responses from previous 2 steps. Out of all of these responses, from the responses of Google Sheets trigger, we are going to select the response of topic and map it over here. So the prompt says create a blog post on the topic of how to automate repetitive tasks with Google Sheets and AI, specifically for the audience of, and then here we have to enter the target audience from Google Sheets. So from the drop down from Google Sheet responses, once again we will map the target audience. Then the prompt says structure the output as a JSON object containing the keys title, content, slug, and keywords. The keyword value should be comma separated string relevant to the topic and audience. Ensure that your response consists solely of the JSON object with no additional introductory or concluding text and without any code block formatting like backticks. Strictly do not add these at the beginning or the end of the response. And also we have basically entered an example JSON body over here. So in this way, clearly specifying in the prompt itself that you want the response in JSON format and also giving an example JSON body that what should be the structure of the response you are expecting from Google Gemini, you can get the response as a JSON object in JSON body from Google Gemini. Now in this way, what we have done, we have just entered the prompt over here, but if you want, you can basically expand this prompt and enter some more details or create a larger JSON body as well. You can just basically enter any JSON body in which you want to basically get the response. You can basically add the number of fields as well. Right now, we are just collecting the data, getting the information for 4 fields over here. Also, on the top section, you can see we have basically entered 2 lines of prompt or just a single line of prompt for generating the content. But you can just add or elaborate this section of the prompt as well and specify that what kind of blog content, title, slug, or keywords you want to generate. Now, after entering the prompt, entering the details from Google Spreadsheet and specifying that we want the JSON object and nothing other than that, here it is asking us for the models. So in the drop down, you can see a list of all the models offered by Google Gemini. Out of all of this, I want to use the model of Gemini 1.5 Pro latest to generate this content. So I'm selecting this model. Then in methods, we have 2 options, generate content, count tokens. So because we want to generate the content over here, I'll select the method as generate content and click on save and send test request. Now when we click on save and send test request, here you can see within few seconds, we are going to receive the response. So let's wait for a few seconds over here. And yes, here you can see that within few seconds, we have received the response. And in this response, you can see we have received the response as a JSON object where we have received a separate response of text title, text content, text slug, and text keyword as well. And here you can see that we have individual fields of response for each and every detail. We have a title, a separate response field for title, a separate response field for content, a separate response field for slug, and also a separate response field for keyword as well. And if you turn this mapping button on, you will get the complete JSON body with all of these details as response as well. Because we have turned on the simple response button, it has basically passed this JSON body and given us the individual responses in different fields. So in this way, you can get the JSON response or the response as a JSON object from Google Gemini. Now, after getting all of these details, what we want to do, we want to update these details back in our Google spreadsheet in the same row. For that, we will just scroll down, click on this Add Action Step button over here, and here in Choose App, we will search for Google Sheets. Just select it. After selecting Google Sheets, in Action Event from the drop-down, select the action event as Update Row, because we want to update the data in an existing row over here. Then just click on Connect and select Add New Connection. Now here we have to connect our Google Sheets account with Pabbly Connect in the action step. For that, just click on this Sign in with Google button, then select your Google Sheets account. Then after that, we just have to scroll down and click on Continue. And as we click on Continue, the Google Sheets account will get connected with Pabbly Connect. After making the connection, it is asking us to select the spreadsheet. So here in this drop-down, you can see a list of all the spreadsheets which we have in our Google Sheets account. Out of all of this, we have to select the same spreadsheet in which we have added the topic and want to update the details of the blog. So from this drop-down, we are going to select the same spreadsheet over here. Then as we all know, in this spreadsheet, we had only one sheet named as Sheet 1. So that's why here from the drop-down, we are going to select the response of Sheet 1. Then it is asking us that in this Google spreadsheet, in which particular row we want to update the data. So basically, we have received the number of row, the row index in our trigger step of Google Sheet. So in whatever row we have added the topic, we have received the row index of that row in the trigger step response. So here from the trigger step responses, we are going to map the row index over here into this Google Sheets action step. Click on this field of row index and from the drop down from Google Sheets trigger step responses, select and map the row index. Then all the columns of data which we have created in this Google Sheet, you can see all of these columns are added as fields over here. And out of all of this, we don't want to update the topic, target audience and status. We don't want to make any changes in these columns of our row. But we want to update the title, content, slug and keyword which was given by Google Gemini in the previous step. So one by one, we are going to map the details in these fields. Just click on this field of title from the drop-down from Google AI Studio, the Gemini responses, select the response of title and map it over here. Similarly, we are going to map the response of content, then we are going to map the response of slug as well, and the same keywords which were given by Google Gemini in the previous step. After mapping all the details into their respective fields, just click on this Save and Send Test Request button. And as we click on Save and Send Test Request, here you can see that we have received the response. And this response seems to be a positive response to us. This response shows that all of these details, all of this data is now added in our Google spreadsheet in the same row in which we have added the topic in the trigger step. So let's check it. We will just go to a Google spreadsheet and yes, here you can see that in our Google Sheet, the data is added. Just let me just correct the formatting of the sheet over here. Let me just adjust the row height over here. Let me just fix it. And here it is. Okay, so here you can see that this was the Google Sheet row over here, the row number 2 in which we had the topic, the target audience and selected the status as generate. And in the same row here you can see that the details are now added over here. So here you can see that in the same row we have added the title of the same blog over here, that the topic which we have added, we have generated the blog content. Here we have the title of the blog, then we have the actual blog content over here, then we have the slug and also we have some keywords related to the same blog as well. So Google Gemini has generated all of these content and added it in our Google spreadsheet over here. So in this way, you can see that we have successfully created this automation using which you can basically get JSON object or JSON body in response from Google Gemini inside Pabbly Connect. And after getting the response in JSON format, you can just add these details in any application of your choice. And in this video, we just took an example of Google Sheets. Now after creating this automation, let's test it. Let's see whether Google Gemini is going to give us the response in JSON object every time or not. So here I have a few more topics over here. I'm just going to select generate for one topic, draft for another one and generate for another one over here. Now we will see within few seconds for the topic in the row number 3 and row number 5 where we have selected the status as generated, the blog content, the title content and all the details will be generated and updated in our Google spreadsheet. So what we are going to do, we will just wait for a few seconds over here. And yes, here you can see that within few seconds, the details are added in our Google spreadsheet. So for the same topics for which we have selected the status as generate, the content is added. So here, this is the topic. The topic was top 5 free tools to create no-code WhatsApp chatbot. And here you can see we have the title over here. Then we have the blog content generated, slug generated, and the keywords of the same particular topic's blog is also generated. Also, we had another topic over here, and for the same topic as well, all the details are generated in the JSON response over here. So in this way, you can see we build an automation workflow inside Pabbly Connect and how you can get the JSON body or JSON object in response from Google Gemini while creating your Pabbly Connect automation with it. So I hope this video was helpful to you and it helped you understand that how you can get the JSON body as a response from Google Gemini in your Pabbly Connect workflow. If you have any kind of doubts or queries, you can always write us in the comment box below. So this is it for today's video. Thank you. Have a great day.
So if this video was helpful to you, don't forget to hit the like button, share it with others, or if you have any kind of doubts or queries, you can always write us in the comment box below or email us at support@pabbly.com. Also, you can post your queries on our forum as well. And if you want to check the pricing of Pabbly Connect, you can visit this link. So this is it for today's video. Thank you. Have a great day.